What it is, my people, it's the kid Sincere, your resident gold chain gamer, and we are a month deep into the next generation of gaming. I've been enjoying it so far. I have a PlayStation 5. I know brothers that got the Xbox Series X/S, and they're having a good time too, and that's if you can get your hands on one, because they're still very limited, whether it's the bots, scalpers, or just COVID-19 in 2020. These consoles are very hard to obtain, but for those that have it, today we're going to get into the audio side of the presentation, because there's been a lot of emphasis on audio, especially from the PlayStation side of things, with Mark Cerny putting the emphasis on our ears. I don't know what the hell that was about, but our ears and how gaming should advance the sound and audio portion of it. And they included a 3D audio Tempest chip inside of the PlayStation 5. I probably worded that all backwards, but regardless, there's a huge emphasis on sound this time. So Sony and PlayStation came out with their first party headset, the Pulse 3D headset, which is very cool looking, and it supposedly takes full advantage of this Tempest chipset. But then you have SteelSeries, which I'm a huge fan of SteelSeries headsets. I actually use one on stream quite often, and they came out with the Arctis 7P. There is a 7X, but that's a whole different story. This is the 7P headset, and I wanted to compare them because I bought both of them around the same time. I couldn't find the Pulse 3D headset for quite some time, and I picked up the Arctis 7P, but I've been using them over the course of the last 3 months, and I wanted to give my impressions on both. Now, if you want the technical spec breakdown of it, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you to find all of that out. Today, I'm just talking about my experience with both. I'm gonna break this down into 4 sections: audio, mic, comfortability and form factor, which is 1, and accessibility. So let's just start right off with audio. How good does each headset sound compared to each other? First of all, when we're talking about the sound, both headsets has really good sound for the price point. These are not top-end headsets, people. I'm talking about $150 for the Arctic 7 and $100 for the Pulse 3D. So the sound in both is really good. But there's a caveat there, because I think that the sound is a little more bassier and punchier in the Arctic 7 as opposed to being a little flat in the Pulse 3D. But that leads to the spatial audio having more room to work. And I felt like I liked the 3D audio in the Pulse 3D headset more than the Arctic 7. So it's kind of even on the audio side. I wouldn't listen to music through either one of these headsets. They just aren't built for that. But as far as gaming goes, I think they're on pretty even ground, except for the fact that the 3D audio sounds a little bit more crisp in the Pulse 3D, because there's a flatter sound, which leads to bringing up that spatial audio and hearing sounds come from every direction a little easier than the Arctic 7, because there's a little bit more bass in this headset. So let's get into something that's very important to me, and that's comfort and form factor. Let's start off with the Pulse 3D headset. Now, it looks cool aesthetically. When you look at it, especially next to your PlayStation 5, looks dope. But it's pretty cheap. It's all plastic. I'm talking about from the cups to the headband, everything is plastic. Now, you do got some rubber underneath here that kind of stretches to fit the form factor of your head. Of course, I have a baldy, so rubber that doesn't slide helps a lot, but they don't feel ultra quality, you know. But then again, it's $100. It's a wireless headset. I don't see a problem with it, but they're just not as quality as the Arctic 7, which has a lot more flexibility also. You can twist the cups around. You have, I want to say this is some kind of aluminum that you can bend around as far as the headband. And then you have the elastic, well, yeah, it's elastic. This elastic headband that kind of stretches to fit your head, which I didn't have a problem with it, but I do probably prefer the rubber just a little bit more. It's easier to clean. But overall, I think the comfort as far as these, because you can sit them here, here. You got a lot of different options with the Arctic 7. With the Pulse 3D, I don't know, it's just kind of, you know, standard stuff, you know. It's nothing special. Plus, you know, the ear cups on the Pulse 3D are leather. not a huge fan of leather cups, at least not anymore. Once I start messing with the Steel Series headsets, the cups in these are mesh and plush, and it just feels better on your ears, to be honest with you. Then you also have the fact that the Arctis 7 has an oval shape to the cup, which kind of fits a lot easier in the ear. It just goes right over your ear a lot easier than the round cups that's on the Pulse 3D. I kind of have to like fit my ears inside of them, which isn't bad, but once I do that, it's pretty much a go. And I don't have a problem with either where it affects my playtime. I can wear these for hours, both headsets, but if I had to make a choice, I'm gonna definitely go with the Arctis 7 because of the flexibility, and it just feels like a better quality made product. So it's the Arctis 7 for comfort and form factor. So let's get into the mic because that's what you're gonna be using to chat with your friends. They wanna hear you clearly through the chat. No one likes a terrible mic inside of a group chat. I know I don't, so I would imagine nobody else does. So I did a mic test with both, and after doing the mic test,
it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl.
I came to the conclusion that the Arctis 7 has a better mic, but I want to say that the mic is better because it's retractable. You can take the mic and put it closer to your face, to where the Pulse 3D has two mics built into the cup. So it sounds distant in a way. It doesn't sound as close as the Arctis 7 does, which sounds very crisp, but it's probably because it's closer to your face, or it's just a better mic. I don't know. But I'm a figure that it's closer to your face, so it sounds a lot clearer, to where the Pulse 3D sounds distant, sound is behind your mouth. So I'm gonna go with the Arctis 7 as far as microphone. Now let's talk accessibility. Both come with a dongle that you have to use to access wirelessly, which is fine, and I'm used to with any wireless headset. The only difference here is that the Arctis 7 has a USB-C, which is very small and sits just slightly off of the front of the PS5, as opposed to the Pulse 3D that has one of the typical dongles, pause, that sits very far from the console. And you know, not saying like, I'm not a careless person, so it's not like you can bump it or break it or anything like that, because it's not that noticeable, but it's noticeable enough. And I like the hidden nature of the Arctis 7 dongle. It just feels like they thought about that more going into the process of designing it. Like, hey, let's hide it so it doesn't look as noticeable sitting outside of the console. So when you plug into the port, you barely even notice it, and you have a USB-C port on the front of your PlayStation 5, which makes it very easy to plug in. Now, the Pulse headset has a regular USB, so you can plug it into the front or the back of the console. Now, because I have other things plugged into my PS5, I usually like using the front ports, so it sticks out from the console, but you do have an option to put it in the back of the console if you want. But with that being said, they both come with 3.5mm cables if you want to plug it to your DualSense controller, which is fine, but I don't know if you get the same effect as having the audio drivers from the wireless dongle, you know, being able to monitor yourself. Both also have monitor controls on the cup, which I think is awesome because I like hearing myself, so I'm not shouting at people while we're gaming. Both also feature a mute button. The only thing is that the Arctis 7 actually has a light indicator to tell you that your mic is actually muted, because sometimes I'll mute my mic to maybe, I don't know, chew some food or talk to my wife or something like that, and I forget that I have it muted, and I'm back talking like a mug and can't nobody hear me. So with the Arctis 7, I can see the red indicator say, oh, my mic's still muted, and unmuted, to where the Pulse 3D, you don't really see anything because everything is built into the cup. And both of them aren't actually that heavy, which I was surprised by. Now, the Arctis 7 is a little heavier, but both are really light though. These are two really light headsets. So, you know, as far as accessibility, I think both are pretty accessible. Both have a lot of features, a lot of built-in features to each cup, so you don't have to really move much. The Pulse 3D has everything in the left cup. Both are very accessible and both have a lot of options between them. So it depends on where you want to go. Now, in conclusion, if you're looking for a cheap wireless option that sounds good and also takes full advantage of PlayStation's Tempest 3D audio set, yeah, I would say get the Pulse 3D if you can find them. Get the Pulse 3D headset because it's $100, and for what it offers for $100, you can't beat it. If you want to spend an extra $50 and get a more full-fledged quality headset, I would say go with the Arctis 7 because SteelSeries just makes excellent headsets. They have been for a long time. And as far as comfortability, flexibility, and even sound in that matter, because I like the punchier sound of these, but I love the cost of these. So it all depends on where you want to go with it. If you want to spend the extra $50 for comfort, yeah, go with the Arctis 7. If you're cool with, you know, knowing that your headset is not the best headset, but you're going to get decent sound out of it, and it's taking full advantage of the 3D audio, I would say get the Pulse headset if you can find it. Either or, you're going to get a decent headset with both choices. So, are you looking for a next-gen headset, or are you looking for a next-gen console and checking this video out to prepare yourself for when you get one? Whatever it is, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you think a friend would like this video, hit the share button. And if you like all of this, subscribe to the channel for more content. Check me out on Twitter at sincere_GCG and on Instagram and Facebook at GoldChainGamers, www.GoldChainGamers.com if you want to pick up some schwiznag and check out some of our videos and audio content. In the meantime, between time, happy holidays. Stay safe out there. Wear your mask above your nose. You know what I'm saying? Some people just still got their nostrils out. Y'all stay cool how y'all stay cool. And remember, it's more than a game. It's a lifestyle, y'all. I'm up out of here. Peace. Wait, you still here? Well, since you're here, subscribe to the channel. Or check out my last video. Either way, thanks for watching and cheers, I guess. Now, how do I take over the world? Step 1.